starting just a few minutes before my normal Sunday spiritual sermon time because I felt like today is one of those days where we all kind of just need a breath beforehand. Just a breath beforehand. Whether it's because of the weight of the world, because you didn't get enough sleep, because you're stressed about the holidays, because you didn't win the lottery, like whatever it is that you're stressed about, I felt like today we just needed a couple of breaths first. I felt like, I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one in the world that needs to take a few breaths before this. But also, if you guys have watched for any length of time, if you followed me for any length of time, then you know that Sunday sermons always hurt your feelings. You know that Sunday sermons always hurt your feelings because they hurt my feelings when I'm writing them. Because anytime you hear me doing these Sunday sermons, anytime you hear somebody that says, I don't know who needs to hear this, it's them. It's the person saying the thing. So today's Sunday sermon, while it's going to hurt your feelings, I know it, you know it, the universe knows it, it hurt my feelings to write it because this is a lesson that over the last few weeks, really over the last 5 years, I have learned the hard way. And I'm coming to the realization that if I don't shift and pivot, I'm going to run myself into the dirt. And while I like grounding, I don't really want to be in the dirt. You know what I mean? So before we get started today, I want you guys to just take a breath. I want you to just take a big, huge breath with me. And if you're in a place where you can just put your hands together, and I know you're like, well, I'm not praying. No, you have chakras in your hand. You have energy points in your hands all over. So you just pressing them together helps you create a circuit, helps you close that circuit, just like you learned in school, just like you learned in science class. When you put the little thing to the battery and the light lit up, you're closing the circuit. So just, even if it's just your fingertips. And then I just want you to take a breath. Not a rushed breath, not a shallow breath. I want you to take a real breath, a deep breath. I want you to just, I don't care if you do it in the nose and out the mouth or in the mouth and out the nose. I don't care. I just want you to take a deep breath with me. You ready? Just hold it for a minute. Just hold it for a minute and then release it. And then release it. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Unclench your jaw. Put your eyebrows down. I know mine permanently stay up because I wear a mask all the time, and as soon as I get off a live stream, immediately, like, I look completely different. Let the part of your body right now that's been like bracing, that's tensed up, that's always ready to pounce, let that part soften for just a minute. Let that part soften for just a minute. And I know that some of you guys are like, well, a deep breath isn't going to help. Me unclenching my jaw isn't going to help. You already are in that mindset that nothing is going to help you, and that's only a defeatist attitude. And I say that with the most love possible because sometimes I need to hear that too. If you want to, you will. If you want that deep breath to help, it will. If you want those shoulders being relaxed, it will. It'll help. Today's sermon is going to hurt a lot of feelings. My own included. My own included. Today's sermon is titled, Being the Light Doesn't Mean Setting Yourself on Fire. I'm going to let that sink in a minute because I need to let it sink in. And then I'm going to say it again. Being the light doesn't mean setting yourself on fire. Before we talk about being the light in the world, we have to talk about what it costs and what it's been costing you. because there is a deep level of exhaustion that no one talks about. And there is a very quiet, deep, intense exhaustion that's moving through every single good person, kind person right now. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you live. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care. Every single person that has good intentions, every single person that is actively just trying to help other people, trying to just be a good human, there is an exhaustion that is rolling through all of those people that sleep doesn't fix it. Rest doesn't fix it. Coffee doesn't fix it. Grounding doesn't fix it. Ritual baths don't fix it. It's the tired that comes from always holding space for everyone else and never yourself. It's the tired that comes from always being understanding and always trying to see every side of the story and not seeing your own. It's the quiet exhaustion that always comes from being the strong one and never allowing yourself to have the crash out. It's the exhaustion that comes from always absorbing the chaos of the world and being the shield so other people don't have to. So many of us were taught, pretty much all of us, whether it was explicitly taught or just kind of implied. Being spiritual means being endlessly available. If you're a spiritual guru, if you're spiritual at all, I don't care what religion it is, if you belong to any religion or any practice or you're spiritual, you have to always be available for every single person that needs you. Right? Being light means being endlessly patient. Being good means never saying no. I can't tell you how many times over the last 5 years of being on TikTok, I have had people message me, email me, etc. and say, oh, your last video, it was really petty. Oh, your last video was really mean. Oh, your last video was dark. I don't need that kind of negativity. Okay, Sheila. Sorry, I was a real person. I got too many Capricorn placements to be love and light all the time. 8 is enough. If you got that joke, we're friends. But somewhere along the way, you were handed this torch and you were told, if you're going to be spiritual, you keep this torch lit. It doesn't matter the cost. Don't you ever let that flame go out. Don't you ever let it dim. Keep it lit no matter what. But when they handed you that torch, they didn't bother to tell you that that fucking torch is always going to burn the hand that grips it too tightly. Every time. Every time. This is exactly where this exhaustion is coming from. That torch that you're holding so tight because you can't let it go, because you were given that mantle to carry, it's been burning you. Slowly. Intently. Intensely. You guys realize that light is not meant to be consumed. There's a lot of ancient wisdom that I get really frustrated, and I know y'all do too, that a lot of modern spiritualists and a lot of modern spirituality forgets. And light is not produced by self-destruction. A candle doesn't scream in death throes as it burns. It doesn't apologize for melting. Oh, I melted so you could have abundance in your life. I'm so sorry. It's placed in its holder. It's protected. It's stable. It's contained. And it's allowed to do what it needs to do. So what happens if you remove that holder? What happens if you just flop that candle down somewhere on the counter? What happens if you open all the doors and the windows and suddenly it's super windy? Or maybe you take it outside where it's windy. What would happen to that flame? When you light a candle, do you expect it to burn forever without a break? Without finally burning out? If you take a candle outside in the wind, it doesn't become brighter. It snuffs. It goes out. It can't hold up to those kind of winds for very long. Being a light doesn't mean always absorbing other people's emotions. And as modern day energy healers, as modern day spiritualists, as modern day Christians, as modern day Muslims, as modern day insert your chosen religion here, we're told you've got to absorb that. We're told that you've got to absorb that. I love that there was a scammer that just came into my TikTok live and wanted to scam people during a sermon about light. The irony of the universe is rarely lost on me. Being a light doesn't mean absorbing that. Being a light doesn't mean absorbing someone else's emotions. Being a light doesn't mean absorbing problems, absorbing sickness, absorbing all of these issues. It doesn't mean fixing what isn't yours. Let that sink in. Being a light does not mean fixing what isn't yours. Here's one that's really going to hurt. Are you ready? This is one that I've learned the hard way. And when you start doing this, people automatically think that you're cold. They think that you don't care. They think that you're not listening. Being a light does not mean explaining yourself endlessly to other people. And being a light doesn't mean staying in spaces that absolutely drain your soul. Those aren't virtues. Those aren't virtues. They're not the signs of a strong healer, of a strong spiritual person, of a strong, insert whatever word you need to hear. Those are leaks. That is the wind blowing your flame out. There is a huge lie that is woven into modern spiritual culture. It is an outright, bold-faced lie, a fib, falsehood. Liar, liar, pants on fire, sitting on a telephone wire. It's so bad. And it's told to empaths, it's told to healers, it's told to witches, to caretakers, to practitioners, to priests, to priestesses, to nuns, to monks, light workers, death doulas. And the lie is this: if you were truly evolved as a spiritual person, this wouldn't bother you. If you were truly loving, you would give more. If you were truly healed, you wouldn't need boundaries. I'm going to let all of us sit with that one for a minute. If you were truly healed, you wouldn't need boundaries. Why are you setting boundaries if you've done shadow work? Why is that bothering you if you claim that you're evolved? Boundaries are not the absence of love, my friend. They are the architecture, the framework, the structure that allows love to exist. Even gods and goddesses withdraw. The moon has to disappear at some point, so does the sun. Even the earth rests during winter. Every part of this planet has a winter season where plants have to have a rest. Flowers, trees go dormant. Yet you're told constantly that you have to be an endless bloom in the dark, an endless light that is out there for all of the world to see. You have to be the lighthouse that never sees daybreak. That's not divine expectation. That, my friends, is human exploitation dressed up as virtue. Let that sink in. That is human exploitation dressed up as virtue. Setting yourself on fire helps no one. And I'm going to say this really, really clearly because some of you guys need to hear it without pretty words. Some of you guys need to hear it very bluntly, very plainly, very in your face. You do not help the world by burning yourself alive in it. You do not help the world by burning yourself alive for it. Martyrdom doesn't heal collective trauma. Exhaustion doesn't raise the frequency. Self-abandonment doesn't save anyone. And I'm going to say this next part because, to be honest with you guys, it's something I've been fighting hardcore over the last year. A light that destroys itself becomes the darkness. Let that sink in. A light that destroys itself becomes the darkness. When you reach a point of burnout so intense that there's no candle to burn, much less burn at both ends, guess what happens? That darkness that you've been holding off for so long comes crashing in. And it envelops everything. Your mind, your soul, your spirit, your mental health, your emotional health, your relationships, your home. It envelops everything. So you fight harder. You try to find one more wick on that candle to light when there's no wax left. There's no wick left. What are you lighting? But we do. I'll figure it out. Right? How many times have you said that? Y'all, the world doesn't need more people collapsing behind closed doors quietly and telling everyone that they're fine. I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And then you go close the door and you just collapse on the ground. The world needs steady lights, consistent lights. Lights that know when they need to dim, when they need to take a break, so they can shine strong again the next day or the next week. And I'm going to tell you guys something that is really hard to hear for pretty much everyone listening. I don't care who you are, because part of this sermon, even if you are someone that you actively take breaks, right? You actively take breaks. You still burn yourself down. I know you do. I know you do. For something, some reason, some purpose, some idea, whatever it is, there is something that you burn your candle at both ends and in the middle for. Sacred withdrawal is not failure. There are a lot of times in your life, a lot of seasons in your life where the most spiritual thing you can do is step back. Not quit, not disappear, not abandon your truth, not abandon your purpose, not give up on the world, but just withdraw your energy from what is draining it. In almost every ancient tradition, priests, shamans, mystics, medicine men, medicine women, they were required to retreat regularly. Required. Even the Dalai Lama, the Pope, are required to retreat, to regulate themselves, to have time alone. They are required to do this. Not because they're weak, but because they're powerful. Because they're powerful. They understood something that a lot of us are trying to relearn. All of these ancient practices knew this and required it of their leaders, of their spiritual leaders, the people they looked to in the times of trouble, in the times of good, and all the things in between. They knew this. And we have to relearn it. You can't hold space if your inner temple is in ruins. Let that sink in. How many of you guys have been neglecting your own health lately? You've been eating like shit, if you eat at all. You've been sleeping when you can, because you got to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Trust me, it's the pot calling the kettle black, okay? You can't hold space for anyone if your inner temple is in ruins. Silence isn't selfish. Rest isn't laziness. Saying, I can't right now, I can't hold this right now, I can't hold this space right now, is not a moral failing. It is wisdom. Story time. One of the things that I struggle with the most in being on social media is Reiki nights. When I don't feel good. I know that people depend on me, and I know they have depended on me for almost 6 years straight at this point. Let that sink in. We are now moving over the half-decade mark. Half a decade. April of 2025 was 5 years since I've been doing Reiki on social media. 5 years. And I like that TikTok froze right now. 5 years. At least twice a week. I've done it when I'm sick as shit. I've done it when I can barely hold my stomach together and then have to run to the bathroom and throw up as soon as I get done. I've done it when I have the most horrendous migraine you can imagine. I've done it when I just lost a family member that morning. I've done it when I just lost a fur baby that morning. And y'all didn't know, did you? I've done it when I could barely sit up straight because my sciatic nerve in my lower back was out. I've done it when I was having severe heart issues. I've done it after having a mini stroke the day before. Y'all didn't know, did you? So when I realized, bitch, you can't keep doing this. You are going to burn yourself out, wear yourself out, trying to save the world. When I have to miss a Reiki night, do you guys know how many messages I get wanting to know where the fuck I am? More than you'd like to know. You want to know how many people message me on YouTube, on TikTok, the website, etc., wanting to know why there's no Reiki tonight? For those of you guys that have followed me for any length of time, if you're in any of my live streams, then you see people come in and say, do the hand thing. Why isn't there Reiki? And even though the first part of me is like, you know what, dude? Fuck you. The other part of me is like, oh, I should be doing that. Like maybe they really need help. Learning to say that I can't do this right now physically. I physically am not in a good place. My inner temple is crumbling. I can't hold space right now. Learning to say that has been hard as hell for me personally. Hard as hell. I still struggle with it. I probably will always struggle with it, just like you. But light without containment is chaos. How often do you try to push through things and everything just turns into chaos? Because you didn't calm down. I want you guys to think about wildfire. We have them all the time in Oklahoma. Every late spring, early summer. They're horrible. I hate them. I know California is plagued with them. I know a lot of places in the United States have had wildfires in the last few years. Bad ones. A wildfire is simply a fire without a boundary. It's not a fire in a cutesy little fire pit. It's not a fire at the park where you're grilling hamburgers for a family event. It is a fire without boundaries, and it is pure and utter destruction. I have a lot of friends that I've known for a long time, since high school, that lost homes this last spring in wildfires here in Oklahoma. Everything they ever worked for, gone, destroyed. Let that sink in. That's what you're doing to yourself right now. That's what we're all doing to ourselves right now. We're trying to be the wildfire. We're trying to save every single person we can, help every single person we can, while we're burning ourselves from the inside out. Y'all, it's okay to turn your phone off. It's okay to turn it on Do Not Disturb. It's okay to turn the damn ringer off. It's okay to not watch the news for one day. It's okay to not scroll on social media for one day. It's okay to not respond immediately to every text message that comes in. It's okay to choose peace over proving a fucking point. Doesn't mean you lost the argument. It's okay to leave conversations that you know are going to spiral into something horrible. An argument, fear. You aren't required to witness every single tragedy that occurs in your life, around your life, or around the world in real time. It's not a requirement. Not a requirement. Does it mean that you don't care? No. Does it mean that you can't do something to help out? No. But you aren't required to witness every single negative thing in real time as it happens. Because let's face it, that's pretty much what the news is. Your nervous system wasn't built for global grief, for constant global grief. Being a light doesn't mean that you are plugged into every single current out there. Sometimes being the light means being the calm house on the hill. Sometimes being the light means being the quiet temple with no candles burning. Sometimes being the light means pausing. It means stillness. It means calm. It means quiet. It means silence. Not being the lightning rod. I want to pause again real quick because I know that I'm struggling through this sermon. I'm not going to lie. I'm struggling through this one. I just want you to take another deep breath. I'm going to take one with you. I don't care if you put your hands together. I don't care if you put your feet on the floor. Both of those are great, by the way. I don't care if you put your hand over your heart. I don't care if you're bawling like a bitch right now. I just want you to take a deep breath. I just want you to take a deep breath. Ready? When you exhale, for the rest of the day, I want you to let go of one little thing that's not yours to carry. Let go of one thing that is not yours to carry. And when you inhale, I just want you to think, I'm gathering my energy back for myself. When I'm breathing out, I'm releasing worrying about my kids' classroom next week. I'm releasing worrying about whatever thing is going on the news right now. I'm releasing worrying about is that one Christmas light out on the tree outside. I'm releasing worrying about what Joe Blow down the street is doing. I'm releasing all of the things that aren't mine to carry. And then do it again. 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 Remember that feeling right there. Remember that feeling right there. What protected light feels like. What releasing even just one little teeny tiny thing feels like. My friend, you aren't meant to shine everywhere. You aren't. Even the sun doesn't shine everywhere all at the same time. You are not meant to be the light in every room. And that right there is another big truth that instantly you probably went, but I can. Even the moonlight doesn't touch everywhere at the same time. The overhead light in your bedroom, it doesn't touch everywhere at the same time, does it? There's still darkness under your furniture, under your bed, under your blanket. You aren't meant to be the light in every single room. Some rooms have to be committed to darkness. Some people are not ready to see, and they may never be ready to see. Some situations, most situations, are not yours to heal. They're not yours. Trying to illuminate everywhere doesn't make you a holy person. It doesn't make you a spiritual guru. It doesn't make you all powerful. It doesn't make you whatever. It makes you exhausted. It makes you exhausted on a level that you had no idea you could be exhausted. My friend, you choose where you get to shine. You choose who you pour your energy into. You choose where your light gets to shine. You choose what you do with your light. It's not ego. It's a sovereign protection, a stewardship of your own soul. If you don't take anything else away from today's sermon, as I look down and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, I want you to listen to this. And I'm going to say this to myself on the camera because I need to hear it, just like you need to hear it. And I'm going to be a big girl and I'm not going to tear up. Hopefully. Honey, you're allowed to rest without feeling guilty. You're allowed to dim without disappearing. You're allowed to protect your light and yourself and your energy. May you always be the lantern and not the wildfire. May your flame be steady and not frantic. May you learn the sacred art of tending your own fire and not being fuel for someone else's. May you learn the sacred art of making sure that your own fire is strong before you try to warm the world. And I want you to remember that being the light was never about burning yourself alive. It was about staying lit long enough to matter. Be gentle with you this week. It's a new moon coming up. The last one of the year. The last one of this first quarter of the 21st century. Be easy with you this week. This is a lot of letting go. The world is so heavy right now. The world is so heavy. And your light, the light that you hold inside of you, is more precious than any other thing that exists. So much more precious. So as I'm signing off of here for Sunday sermon, I'm going to give you guys a challenge. And I'm going to do the same thing. I want you to get off of social media for 2 hours. 2 solid hours. I want you to turn your phone off. I want you to turn it on Do Not Disturb. I want you to go take a nap. I want you to go take a hot bath. I want you to go get yourself an ice cream. I want you to go do something that does not require you to hold space for anybody but you. If you have kiddos, because some of you guys are like, well, I have kids. Sit down and watch cartoons with them. Play a game with them. Wrap Christmas presents with them. Because your light is never ever about burning yourself from the inside out, my friends. Go be gentle with you. The world is heavy. I will see you guys later. Yeah?